All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Readers. We are doing the major market breakdowns, looking at NASDAQ and QQQ on this video. Clearly a lot to be worried about because on the last video I said it was all about the 200 and look at where we're at right now, okay? So before we get into the details, what are we going to do today? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how things are setting up. We have our 5 moving averages, these horizontal support and resistance lines I do draw manually myself, and then when we're done up here, we'll talk about the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please like and subscribe, it does really well with the YouTube algorithms. Even if you don't, I am so glad you're here and I really appreciate your time, okay? And if you disagree with anything, please throw it in the comments, all right? I'm not here pretending to be perfect or all-knowing. I'm just giving you my opinions, and if yours are better than mine, trust me, I do want to hear them, okay? So look, let's get into it. And look, I'm going to repeat a couple things, right? Good things happen over the 8, bad things happen under, but this is why that 20, right? These two are best friends, right? Because once you lose the 8, hopefully you can kind of use the 20 to bounce. We talked about the bounce not being good enough, and really it just kind of played out as expected. We have come to the 200, the purple line, and unfortunately, if you look, so the 200 is at 11.4, right, in purple over there. We're at 11.39. So we are definitely under this line for the first time. Clearly, it's a doji, right? So people weren't sure if it was going to tank. People weren't sure, barely any, but some people thought maybe it'll stay above it. Clearly, we closed below, right? You can actually see a little purple over that red right there. So a lot of uncertainty, and again, doji, that's what the doji means, right? People just weren't sure if we're coming down to these two or if we're going to actually, again, the 200 is a monstrous line. If you can break it, you do tend to fly a little better. We've seen that on a bunch of different individual stocks. And then once you come back to it, and if you bounce, man, it could be a real good bounce. But there's a couple things here kind of getting me really worried, right? First and foremost, this 8 moving average looks like it still wants to go down a little bit, right? It's not even ready to kind of curve up or even flatten out yet. This 20 went from up to curve to like pretty flat, maybe even a little bit down, right? So that 20 no longer seems upward anymore. That's definitely not a good MACD, right? We definitely see a lot of green under red. Looks like the green wants to keep going lower. The only real saving grace I have here is this 34 RSI. Look, generally 30 is where I say is a little too low, and it should recover from there. And let's just kind of take a look. What was it back here? Yeah, it actually literally got to the 30s. What was the lowest it got here? 22 though. Damn, so there still could be some room. And again, let me just show it to you. You see RSI right there reads 22 in the green, right? So, man, this RSI might... So look, I have said it a few times. I am bullish day to day as long as we're over the 200 because look at how long it's been, right? So that 200 really matters. If we go under it, I'm for sure worried about tech stocks. That's a really simple thing I'll say. And then from there, I'm obviously going to be watching these two lines, right? And just taking a step back, look, you have the upper channel, the lower channel. We're pretty much right in the middle, right? So we went from sub death line to almost breaking this top one to, man, are we coming back to the death line, right? So there's definitely a lot of reasons why this doji is here. It very much makes sense. And look, we saw it again a couple days ago, right? This doji right here, people weren't sure if we were going to lose it or go up. Luckily, it went up a little bit, but clearly not enough, right? So a lot going on here, excuse me. But yeah, definitely worrisome. I'll be honest, it really seems like we're coming down to the 100 at 11.06, maybe the 50 at 11.19. But in all honesty, I feel like it might just pass this and come to this one. It's just my working guess in all honesty. So last thing we want, I shouldn't have to say it, but obviously we do not want to lose this and fall down, right? It's staying at least within the lines is good. Obviously above is way better though, right? But definitely a scary daily chart. There's no question there. So interesting. All right, what am I looking at, right? Obviously, we talked about the rejection of the 50 on the last video. What I don't like, because again, it is Friday close, right? We have now closed the week, and the week is closed under the 8 moving average as well as the 200 right there. That's really bad. And look, what's this 200 at? 1109, right? That's exactly the number I said, because I thought it really was going to skip that and come down to this 1106 number or whatever, right? Same thing. So yeah, it's definitely a little worrisome. There's rain in the background. It's definitely a really rainy day in LA. So sorry if the noise is catching. I'm not sure if you guys are hearing that, but again, the weekly is kind of reconfirming what I saw on the daily. And look, not liking that MACD. How low is the MACD right here? Damn, it was in the 32s, right? So there's definitely a good ways to drop from 50 if it does, right? So definitely in the negative for the MACD as well. Definitely not liking this overall on the daily, on the weekly. Let's take a look at the monthly real quick. Okay, so where are we? Look, we are roughly 2 trading. I don't even think it's roughly. I think it's literally 2 trading days away from closing the month, maybe 3, whatever it is. We definitely did not get good confirmation, right? I very well see that we're over the 8, and yeah, that's a good thing. It's actually one of the first times in a while. It is actually the first back-to-back month that we've had over, right? But clearly we're not going to get the good confirmation we wanted. We did want to get up here. I at least did say on the last video, look, at least just stay over the 8. Stay over that 1133, but honestly, just what we were saying in the last few videos, the last few minutes, it really seems like we might be coming down to here. And as long as we don't fall that low before the month ends, that'll be good. Okay, we cannot go lower than 11.2 by the 28th. We for sure want to stay above 11.35. You know what I mean? So that's really what we're looking for. This daily has me worried. It does. We just need to go horizontal for the first couple days of the week, last couple days of the month. Just go horizontal before making the move would probably be the safest, because the way I see it, we're coming down, and I don't know if we're going to bounce back enough to close that monthly candle where we want. So definitely a little worrisome on this NASDAQ review. Let's quickly look at QQQ. Again, all we're looking for is symmetry, right? Exact same thing. I don't care that this one's green versus red, right? What I'm seeing is we're Doji right on the 200, right? I'm glad we're over the 200. I'll at least say that, right? NASDAQ was actually under the line. This is over the line. Nonetheless, I think it's close enough to where I'll say same thing, really. Weekly, again, QQQ looks a little better. This is still at least over the 8. Again, the other one was unable to get over the 8 on the weekly. This one lost the 50 a little quicker, I think. I honestly don't remember. Let me just check real quick. Yeah, it's about the same, actually. Where's the 200, though? I didn't notice the 200's down here on QQQ. Interesting. Okay. That's an interesting anomaly right there. I'll throw that out there. And then where is the monthly? Okay, yeah, pretty much same thing. Overall, this is exactly the same. I'll look at the weekly one more time. It's odd that the 200 is down here versus right here as we saw on NASDAQ. But again, charts look close enough to where I'm not really freaking out. So unfortunately, I am a little bearish here, as you can tell. Again, ideally, let's just go horizontal for the first couple days next week, and then bad things can happen in March, not February. You know what I mean? But we'll see how it goes. And unfortunately, I don't think that's how it's going to happen, right? So hey, I sincerely appreciate your time. If you disagree with anything, please let me know. Have a great one.